Welcome to the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM and Hutchison's Builders, live and free from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia. And now here's your host from the Obie and Cookie Call on Power FM, Andrew O'Brien, aka Obie.
Hello and welcome to the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show here at Toowoomba Sports Club. We're sponsored by Hutchison's Builders and it's great to be back. It's round 16. It's getting to the business end of the season. And my two Scallywags colleagues here beside me, we've got Justin Murph. How are you, Murph?
I'm great, thanks. Good to be here again.
That's good. He's in Vietnam one moment. He's in Singapore. Paul Reedy. How are you, Reeds?
Yeah, good, thanks, Ovie. Glad to be back on the show, mate. Thank you.
And what was it like, Reeds, when you didn't go on the podium, mate? You sat back when they were doing the swimming championships the other night.
Yeah, mate, I wasn't quite good enough to get in the pool, but I don't know, it's a bit hard, isn't it? Do you support him or do you not support him? He was happy to take to the pool deck, happy to swim against him, and then he didn't beat him, so I can understand him being disappointed about a drug cheat. But
yeah, but then the German fella, he protested the next day, didn't he? So that sort of made it justifiable. But here we're talking swimming on footy. What the? Okay, well, let's get stuck right into it. The Mustangs had a bye, and they travelled to Townsville to take on the Black Hawks on Saturday at 2:20 Reeds.
yeah, so it should be a great opportunity for the boys. Townsville is sitting second on the ladder. They're going pretty good, the Black Hawks. They did come down to Toowoomba about 6 weeks ago. We took them on here on a nice, beautiful Toowoomba wet and sort of blustery day. It was nice and cool, and the boys beat the Black Hawks with a field goal with about a minute to go. So it was a very good win, and they've beat North since then and had a couple of close games. So looking forward to them getting up there and having a go at Townsville and hopefully coming away at the Chockies.
And not many rounds left, Reeds?
We've got about 5 games to go
Yeah,
for the rest of the season.
Which is a lot longer than our season, isn't it?
Yeah, so it finishes the last weekend of August before the semis start, and it's been a good season for the boys. They've had a couple of wins, they've had a couple of close games, a couple of tough losses there amongst the two, but still got 30 at training, and the boys are really keen to keep going.
It's good, and going up to Townsville, I think Thurston normally catches up or says good day too. He has previously, hasn't he, Jonathan?
Yeah. The boys got to meet him there the previous time they went up, so this will be their second time to Townsville this year. We went first round, we went up there to play Northern Pride as a curtain raiser to the Cowboys as well, so great opportunity this weekend to be playing in front of an Intrust Super Cup with a number of NRL players around.
And Reeds, we're coming to the last 3 weeks of the TRL competition. And of course, there's that temptation for the clubs that are in finals contention to really yearn for those top players in the Mustangs. I suppose from a Mustangs point of view, you're trying to accommodate them as best you possibly can, but you've still got to put a team on the field, haven't you?
We've still got to give the boys every opportunity. It's not fair to the ones that don't get to go back to play semi-finals football, that they've got to go out there and maybe struggle without some of them better players. So,
and there's a strict criteria. You've got to play, 4 of the last 4 games in the last round.
They've got to play 4 games since then, and they haven't had the opportunity to do that. Mm-hmm. So most of them won't be back. But there's a couple of sides, right on the cusp of the boys have probably played 4 games, so that's going to be a conversation. But it's pretty hard to send them back to one club to the detriment of another club that they may be playing. So we're very aware of that.
And the boys' commitment is to the Mustangs, obviously.
Yeah, they've trained all year. They've been at the Fit Lab all year. They've got all their gear. They've had a full season commitment to each other as well. So that is their first preference, is to play for the Mustangs.
And I think most of the times, Reeds, they sort of value the players' input, and they're committed to their mates, because it's not just about playing for Mustangs. They've been training and, as you said, with them as well.
Travelling away a lot.
Travelling away, so they're pretty committed to them, aren't they?
And
so most of the time I'm saying they stay with Mustangs.
The clubs that are in the semi-finals or in the finals, they've got there without these players anyway.
Yeah.
So it can sometimes upset their balance or their own team harmony, which is an issue for the club to sort out themselves.
The club shouldn't rely on getting people back at this stage of the year. I reckon.
They're
good enough, they should be there, and if they get them back, it is a bonus. Right?
Yeah. Well, on to the Phillies, and Phillies played their last games of the season, and I'll open it up for discussion, guys. They haven't had the best of season both in Division 1 and 2 all year, but I know that they're sitting down with the think tank over the next couple of weeks to see about an actual Toowoomba competition, whether that be smaller numbers, etc. Your thoughts, Reeds, to you first?
Yeah, look, I'm glad to see they finished off the season in both Divisions 1 and 2, that they didn't start just throwing some forfeits in there. Full credit to these ladies going at it. It's a really tough comp they're in. They're playing against a number of ones that are going to be playing NRL women's comp later this year. I'd love to see a Toowoomba ladies comp get off the ground, but until it becomes a full division of Toowoomba ladies and girls rugby league under the TRL banner, but with one person in charge of it all the way through, I'd like to see it done more as like an IPL, where all the girls who want to play in all the grades nominate. They're not necessarily playing for a local club. They're going to play in a division. They all train together and then they break up on a Thursday night into their respective teams that they stay in for the year. We break them up so they're fairly even, and let's have a fair dingham girls comp, not trying to blend it in with the boys on a Saturday or a Sunday and putting them on the second field. Let's have a standalone ladies comp that might all play at Brothers one weekend, Valleys the next weekend, Gatton the next weekend, but they're not necessarily a Gatton team or a Brothers team. They might have different names, and maybe we even get sponsors to sponsor each grade.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a step in the right direction. They've been in this comp 2 years now, but I think we've still got to advance the girls up here and think of different ways to do that as well, which I think Reedy's suggestion is pretty good.
Yeah, look, mine's on a similar role. One thing's for sure is that women's rugby league is not going to go away. Okay, so developing them, whether it be in these carnival type, IPL type situations, is the way to go. Yeah, there've been talk about going from 13 to 9 teams, 9-player teams, but I'm more of say. They might have an IPL competition that we might see a carnival at Pittsworth, for example, right? Or we might see a carnival at Dalby and so forth. And keep in mind, like the 13s, is it the 12s, 14s and 16s ladies are getting big. One thing I know is, haven't they got some opportunity, the women?
Yeah, and I'd see a competition where you might have under 12 girls, under 14 girls, under 16 girls, 18s and then opens. And you might have enough to have 4 teams of 14s, but you might have enough to have 6 teams of 16s.
Yeah.
But they train together one afternoon, and then later that week we break them into sides.
Yep.
And that whole carnival, 12s, 14s, 16s, 18s and opens, would all be played at Brothers. And then next week it's at Gatton, and the next week it's at Pittsworth. And it's a standalone day. And as we increase the numbers, we can then shell teams out to respective clubs once we've got enough numbers involved. But at the moment, we're giving the girls a great opportunity to play rugby league. They're not getting the respect they need, and what's happening is they're leaving the game. They're leaving within 2 seasons. We're not keeping them for long enough to fall in love with rugby league.
Yeah, but in saying that, Reed, it wasn't long ago, 2 or 3 seasons ago, where they just had the one side in second division. They won the premiership there. And it's
4 years, won 2 premierships and lost 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Great results.
What I'm saying is now they've got 2 divisions, which they've had 2 years in a row. So the numbers are there. So it's just it can only go one way from here.
We don't have enough of the girls going from 16s or under 17s to opens. They're dropping off, and that's because there isn't a competition strong enough for them to be playing week in, week out. And we need to get that bottom grades to filter into the top.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, magic days, like where they're all together and the supporters, everyone can get it around, see them, and it gives the girls a good sense of being a part of the rugby league community too. I think that is a good way to go.
Yeah, I was looking at some information through the week, and whilst we had only 3 games, there was still over 12 hours of senior rugby league on the weekend, and it was the first time that we could remember that there was a clean charge sheet. There was no grades, no fines or no weeks off and so forth. So I think that tells us is that the players are taking ownership of actually cleaning up the game. Don't you agree, Reed?
I think maybe the referees are asleep or the committee, but look, there's always things happening in rugby league, and it's not always because the players trying to be dirty or anything like that. I think just accidents happen. It's a great sign though that on the weekend there was no charges, and hopefully we'll get a few more weekends like that.
I think the bottom line, Murph, is that our game is safer.
Definitely safer. I think the coaches are doing a good job in that aspect as well, so they can take some credit. The clubs are behind them as well, and the players know the standards they need to make to play now too, so I think it is a good way.
Well, on Saturday night, the Queensland Trust Cup teams came to Pittsworth. It was a wonderful affair with South Logan coming from behind to beat Redcliffe by 26 points to 18. And there was just a fantastic crowd there. Sam Taggart's was there. He's a Storm player, former Storm player. George Fry. It was just a great thing for the Bush. I thought that Gundawindi last year, right, where they had Redcliffe and East was fantastic, but this was different. And Pittsworth, what it showed me, what a great venue to watch footy, you know. And it was interesting that we were sitting there. They had to stop the game because this 5 and 6 year old had run on the field because they were playing nearby. They stopped it, and then at the other end, here they're playing footy behind the dead ball, all the kids there. And as we're going past, as we're in front of our commentary position, here's a couple of scooters and a bike and that type of stuff. I'm surprised there wasn't a pig and a calf and all that type of stuff, but it was a real grassroots stuff, man.
It does. It shows you the grassroots where we come from and what the game's built on. Clubs like Pittsworth, and that's all around Queensland and Australia as well. So it's great. I loved watching the weekend to see where all those Queensland Cup games were at and seeing the different areas up in the islands and everything. And to have one in our area as well every year, it is important for us as well.
Yeah, well, I really felt that whilst we really loved having the Intrust Cups, I think they got a bigger thrill about coming out. And you've had, obviously, the Mustangs at the Intrust, you get that exposure, Reeds, and badly needed. And I've got to say, I reckon the crowds they have at those games were bigger than the crowds they get at there.
Well, I think the crowd that Pittsworth, look, Pittsworth are very good at hosting. The whole town gets behind something like that. We take a Mustangs game out there every second year, and they've been fantastic for us. They've hosted us really well, and there's been a good crowd, and they've really got behind the boys, and they've played well. But if you go down to some of the Intrust Super Cup games, where like to Redcliffe or to South Logan and that, they don't get anywhere near the crowd that they would have got out there at Pittsworth. They're lucky to get 200 or 300 sometimes. So it shows that there's a thirst for Intrust Super Cup up here, that higher level. Getting to see a few NRL players and bringing it to the country. What a great way to get some exposure.
Yeah, you know, my thoughts, Reeds, I think if there's a link there between the grassroots of these next tier down competitions, a la the TRL, they can mix there. There's certainly something that can be done there. But look, we had a great time. Nev called the game, and Ben Eichen just happened to be in the crowd. He's a QRL director. He came on for about 10 or 15 minutes. He was fantastic. He got pretty cold, which it was out there. The South Slogans, like to thank Jim and Mohammed for coming on, and they gave us an insight of the Intrust Cup there. But those clubs are no different to what we have here, are they, Murph?
Yeah, definitely. I've played with Adam.
You've been in NRL?
Yeah, I've played with Adam Mogg as well before. He's been out here the last 2 years at Gundy, and now he is. So it's good to get him out here. And Adam was actually born in Toowoomba as well.
Yeah, so he was a Newtown boy, wasn't he?
Yeah, Newtown. He played Newtown.
Did you play with him?
No, I'm older than him.
You've had a hard life.
Yeah, a fair bit older than him.
You've had a hard life, Reeds. But look, it was wonderful stuff. And as we go to break, let's look at an interview of one of Toowoomba's favourite sons who was there, Corey Pax, who he came out to Pittsworth with these Redcliffe Dolphins. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
For the Toowoomba Rugby League out here at the Intrust Super Cup game between the Redcliffe Dolphins and the South Logan Magpies. And I've run into one of Toowoomba's favourite sons, Corey Pax. Corey, unfortunately you're not playing today. You've had a bit of an injury.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing. I heard it in the Origin, so that's the way footy goes. It's it's unfortunate, but I'm sure the boys will come out today and put in a good performance.
What's it mean to you to come back into your local competition, and especially for the Redcliffe Dolphins to come back out here and play?
Yeah, I think country rounds, it's a great idea by the QRL. I think, it gets everyone involved, and people that really don't get to see much of the Intrust Super Cup. It's a great competition, so I'm sure the crowd will be pretty packed today, and everyone gets around the game, so it's good.
Mate, it's building up nicely out there in Pittsburgh. They love their rugby league out here. So, mate, you're a St Mary's boy?
Yeah, I went to St Mary's from grade 8 and finished there in grade 12, 2017. So, South boy as well in the juniors. Didn't play any senior footy there, so and I had some good memories there at the Tigers. Also played for the Clydesdales and Western Mustangs. So, I've had some pretty good years here in Toowoomba, and very lucky that I've got to play with some great mates of mine and great footballers as well. So they run around the Mustangs under 20 side at the moment. So still keep in contact with them boys, and it's all good.
Mate, the Southern Suburbs Tigers are on the up and up. They've got some great leaders, new coaching staff. But you played your juniors there. Who are some of the guys you played with back there through your junior career? Some of your coaches.
So I've got Brendan Wilson, who was one of my coaches, Ray Murphy. Dad got me in the younger years. I think it was under 7s, under 8. So, my hat goes off to them. Them fellas obviously starting off my career. So, every little pointer they can give me, I take on board. So, it's a pleasure playing under them.
Mate, you're trying to live the dream. You come from Toowoomba and you've moved down to Brisbane to try and make it into the NRL. What do young fellas got to do up here to improve?
I think it's just your work rate. You just got to have that mentality that you want to get better each week, and for me, that's what I wanted, and rugby league it's a big part of my life, and ever since I was a young kid, I seen it on TV, and I was like, that's what I want to play, Dad. So, I've stuck at it, and it's all going well so far, but I've still got a long way to go, and hopefully it all works out.
Well, Corey, best of luck and best of luck with the injury. Thanks, matey.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, Obi and the panel will review round 15 of the Toowoomba Rugby League. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM and Hutchie's Builders, live and free from Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia.
Hutchie's lives here. We're locals, just like you. To us, construction is really about people, not just bricks and concrete. It's people who bring our structures to life and build communities. We stick by the people who make communities. From Toowoomba Rugby League to RACQ Lifelight Rescue Service, Milne Bay Military Challenge, and the Toowoomba Tennis International, Hutchie's is proud to back the people who support the region.
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 4642 1331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters Toowoomba West on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
Crazy Kevin on the radio.
powerfmradio.com.au.
G'day, Kev Walters here, coach of the Mighty Maroons and brand ambassador for Toowoomba Kia. Did you know that every new Kia, including my Stinger, comes with a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty? 7 straight years. Ha! That's equal to 21 Origin matches worth of warranty. But you don't just get the best warranty in the business, these guys are all about making winning deals for Queenslanders like you. So come down and see the team here at Toowoomba Kia, Toowoomba's new home of Australia's best 7-year warranty.
Queenslander!
Not bad.
Thanks for your company for the TRL Footy Show live from the Toowoomba Sports Club. And now it's back to Obi and the panel.
Well, welcome back to the Hutchison Builders Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show, also sponsored by Power FM. And let's get into the round 15 summary. The best part about the weekend for me was the crowd numbers, as we said, both in Pittsburgh but in Gundawindi. Supporters turned up in their numbers, and look, I heard, Reeds, that it was a record crowd out at Gundawindi where they had their Ladies' Day, and of course they had Valleys go out there. So I've really noticed these last few years that the the crowd numbers, especially Saturday nights, are just phenomenal.
Yeah, we always get a bit of turn up when we play on a Saturday, but look, Gundy on a Saturday out there, they get some big numbers. The town gets out there. When they have their Ladies' Day, it's absolutely huge out there. And what a great opportunity. I think Highfields have done a Ladies' Day, Brothers have done a Ladies' Day, and they've all been successful and helped bring a bigger crowd. So what a great opportunity. But look, Gundy, they get a really big following out there. Taking Valley's out there.
Yeah.
You know, what a great time to do it. They're at the top of the table.
A lot of the Valley's players, they've got family connections out that way as well, so it is a really good game for them. And I think Saturday nights out there, it is a good time, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I spoke to the boys and they said the crowd was even bigger than the Redcliffe East Intrust Cup game there last year where Dalby played the curtain raiser there, and that's a big statement. But then again, it was Ladies' Day and also Sponsors' Day, so it was fantastic.
It's great seeing the good local players too. Look, I know Corey McGrady grew up a bit in Gundy as well, or out that way, so him coming back home, and then Gundy having some good players there too, so it's good, exciting for the fans and supporters to come and watch that.
Yeah, well, as for round 15, some absorbing results over the weekend. Pittsworth beat Highfields by exactly the same score as the Intrust Cup, 26 points to 18, and then as Murph said, Valley's travelled to Gundawindi, and the home side were defeated by Valley's 34 points to 14. In the Hutchies match of the round, both Warwick and South were excellent in this match, and the lead changed hands no more than 6 times for Warwick to all but secure a top 3 position, winning 28 points to 24. But let's go to the Pittsworth Dalby game. Tom O'Sullivan was bashed and bruised, but stood up and he won the Marangadan Pub Player of the match. It was just wonderful stuff by Pittsworth. They apparently, by their own admission and what we heard, that the week before, I think it was against Brothers, where they lost 48 points to 8. They were terrible, but they really turned up to play this game, Murph.
Yeah, definitely. I think having the Intrust game there as well, and I know Highfields wanted to win that as well, so Pittsworth out there and standing up and getting the win, it is credit to them as well.
Right?
Yeah, I run into a few of the Highfields boys downtown later on that Saturday night, and they were really disappointed about losing.
What are you doing out?
Yeah, it's not very often I go out, mate, but
right.
I did go out with my darling wife, and we went downtown and had dinner, and I ran into a few of the boys. Well, I was on my way home, and they were on their way out.
I'm glad you were.
To Darcy Morosky and the boys, and they were really disappointed about losing that game, and you could see they were upset about it because they really had their heart set on going out there and winning. But obviously, home crowd really bolstered Pittsworth. Daniel York back in the side when we thought he was out for the full year, so that's a good boost for him. So. Yeah, good to see Pittsworth get a win.
Yeah, it's good. Well, Pittsworth were up 18 points to 6 and 18 all. O'Shea was sent to the bin with about 15 minutes to go. They had 12 men, and Alex Kaler scored. But I want to have a look at these 3 tries here. Let's have a look at Daniel York's first try in the 11th minute of the first half. And they had, here it is, just there. And you can see it was a fairly soft try. It was 6-0 at that stage, but the main reason I showed that is that they had probably one of their best sides on the field with Brosnan, and keep in mind O'Shea and Carla are really coming to the fore at the moment.
Blakey Cullen played for him too.
Yeah, Blakey Cullen as well. So I tell you what, they've had a shocking season, if not 2 seasons, with injuries, Murph, but next year beckons.
Yeah, the team's changed a lot the last few years, but they've still got a lot of quality players, as you've seen there, and a few of them come through the 20s as well, and it's good to see them going back there, but next year they'll be better for it as well, like you said.
Let's have a look at Shawnee Hamill's try for Highfields, which they come from behind 18-6. It come off a Pittsworth player, and Hamill goes around and scores to make it 18-all, with about 15 minutes to go. And this Jordan O'Shea got sent off for 15 minutes for back chat there at the moment, so it was all ahead of them. And then we go on to the Alex Kaler try in the 28th minute of the second half, so not long to go, about 10 minutes, and this was a turning point. You can see that they come through here, Pittsburgh with the ball. You can see in the background, big crowd, and this is Kaler comes through, some defence there. 12 men they had at the time, and he scored, so he's been going very, very well, Alex, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a good try scorer. True Pittsworth boy, loves it out there. He would have been loving that try in front of the home crowd there for sure.
I've seen that sort of try against Highfields before to that side, so obviously they've got to work on that edge defence there, but because again that was preventable for them as well. So
Yeah, it was funny with Highfields, Murph, is that they really laid their pride on their mark of defence in their wrestle, you know, but as the season's gone on, it's just been missing, hasn't it?
yeah, well, Brothers just to win against them at Highfields at home a few weeks ago, they scored a similar try to that right on full time to beat them. So
Yeah.
you just can't clock off.
Yeah, and that's right. Darcy Morosky, Sam Belfield were very, very good for the Highfields. And as I said, Pittsburgh are up 18-6, got to 18 all. Then O'Shea was in the bin. Carla scored with 12 men on the field. The Webke Price medal points, Tom O'Sullivan, he got the 3 points and really deserved. He was great in defence. He got bashed and bruised from the opposition. Darcy Morosky played all but 5 minutes, I think it was. He got the 2 points, and Daniel York was back to himself. Keep in mind he was out for 6 or 7 weeks with the broken wrist. And I think it was Highfields for the rest of the games there. They won the reserve grade pretty convincingly, 42 points to 20. And in 2 teams in the under-18s vying for the top 5, Highfields got away with the chocolates there, 40 points to 18. As for the under-18s, because keep in mind there was only 3 A-grade games, Gatton 68 defeated Wattles 18, Brothers 32-10 over Oakey, and then South's big win over Wattles 62 points to 14. And only a couple of second divisions there. Warwick 38 beating their higher of the ladder Texas 22 in second division. I just want to have a big shout out to Logan Johnson from Texas, who broke his hip and pelvis, and it's amazing what I've seen in my men league role, how the rugby league fraternity comes to the fore.
Yeah, it is. It's not a good injury, but like you said, and you talked a bit about that, the support behind him and the structure's there for him, and a terrible situation, it's there, and it's comforting knowing that he's there as well.
Right?
Yeah, a small town like Texas, they'll really come to the fore there and help him out and give him all the support he needs out there, and hopefully we'll see him back on the footy field.
Yeah, well, he's in Toowoomba, and if you'd like to go and see Logan, he's just sitting there watching his hips, men, so get in contact with me and you can go and visit young Logan. Now on to the next game. Valley's 34 defeated Gundawindi 14. Valley's Valley's courtesy of a Zach Miles try right on half-time. Valley's led at the break 10-8, and Miles again scored in the second minute of the second half. Turned out to be the turning point to make it 14-8. Then it was 22-14 for a long time until Valley's closed out the match with 2 late tries, 34 points to 14. Ryan Stevens, now what a story this has been for Steve. He's been on the Footy Show before. We worked out that he hadn't played for 18 months. He come off the bench as if he'd never been away.
No, it's a good story to get back on the field for him, because he's seen them have a fair bit of success, and when you're injured it's hard watching that as well, but it's good for him to be back a part of that, and hopefully he can help them towards the end of the season to get a bit more success this year.
And Steve just shrugged his shoulder, but it was a nice story for him to come back, Reed.
Yeah, he's a good young lad, and he's not that big in size, but he plays way above his weight out there. He's a tough little player, so I reckon him sitting on the bench, he would have been chomping the whole time, wanting to get out there, and it would have been disappointing when he was injured and couldn't play at all.
He lives and breathes rugby league, he does. So
and Valleys, he's a Valleys boy through and
through. He's been there for a long time now. So.
Yeah, is he coaching them as well still?
In the juniors he used to coach.
But he did coach them on the centenary game against Brothers, but Matty Schultz and Ned Murphy stepped up there as far as coach is concerned, but
good.
Ryan Stevens won that Brothers game as coach. But he's still milking it. The only coach in the competition's got a 100% record, so well done to you, Steve-O. Alona Barden, Dylan Chow, Aaron Silito were all very good. Keep in mind they didn't have Denzel Burns or Benny Cook in this Gundawindi game, so it made their win all the more impressive, didn't it?
Yeah, and I know they were a little bit wary of having the players out, but also having to win to stay in touch up the top of the table as well. So it was a pretty big game for Valleys as well.
And to restrict David Armstrong just to the one try, we know he's been in scintillating
form. Yeah, he's been a bit of a try-scoring freak, hasn't he? Scoring tries every week, and to restrict him to one, particularly out there at Gundy, that's a good effort.
Well, all due respect to the Roosters, Dylan Chow and Jerome Burns, they've still got plenty of pace floating around, and so it was a great contest out there. As a result, Valleys regained the lead at the top of the ladder because Wattles had the actual bye. Callum Skinner and Mark Offerdale also very, very good for the Boars. Alona Budden got the 3 points, Callum Skinner 2, Dwayne Duncan got the 1. In reserve grade, a bit of an upset there. Gundawindi 22 points to 4 over Valleys, and then an under 18, 34 points to 32. The Gundawindi getting away with that. And we've already mentioned the women's game where Runaway Bay won 44 points to 0. On to the Hutchies match of the game. What a wonderful game. In fact, I think it was one of the top, say, 5 games of the season for me. Sammy Bromwell was absolutely fantastic. His defence absolutely made a difference. He was absolutely tremendous. Mitchie Watson scored 3, and Benny Sullivan, he tackled over 60 tackles, so well done to him. Mitch Chute was at his very, very best. Dylan Brazel, who was a debutant, as was Tyrell Ross for Warwick. So those 2 players really did well. Yeah. And then Dylan Brazel, who's been playing Mustangs, hasn't he, mate?
And he's been playing really well for him too. So for him to get the opportunity while we had the bye was great for him. Mitchie Cheat's been in good form as well for Souths. But look, Benny Sullivan, he's a fantastic hooker and should be playing a lot higher than TRL A grade.
Yeah, I think he still can, and I think he will be soon too, I reckon. So.
Do you reckon he'll get the opportunity?
I reckon he will, yeah.
As soon as we're in, I'd be calling him up.
Yeah,
he's a trier and a goer.
He sure is, you know. So, as I said, Tyrell Rossi made his debut, as is Dylan Brazel, and they were both very, very good, as if they were seasoned A-grade players.
Yeah, and it's always exciting seeing guys make their debut, isn't it, in any grade? It's great that young kids up in Toowoomba and get their debut, and I've enjoyed when I was coaching in here, giving guys their debut and seeing how excited they are as well.
Yeah, well, Bromwell, Chute and Watson getting the points, because if we had more, we would have given it to blokes like Benny Sullivan. In reserve grade, it was a great game, this one here. Souths were in front by 10 points, and Warwick won 28 points to 22. Their under 18 36-0 South over Warwick, and the other under 18 game out at Nanango, and it was a game after the Falcons Devils game out there, and it was an important game too. And we actually watched it on the net here, Murph. And our game at South and Warwick were changing from 20 to 22, 24. Well, so were these guys, Dalby and South Burnett, with Dalby winning 26 points to 24.
Yeah, they're 2 good teams here, and that South Burnett team, they could do anything on their day. I'm sure they could, but they'll be a very good team. They're going up there. So the under 18 comp this year, look, like you've said previously, it has been a really exciting competition.
An absolute ripper, and the ladder shows it on those lower grades. Let's have a look at the ladders now. In A grade, we've got Valleys on top with 23, Wattles with 22, and Warwick on 20. You think that they would be the top 3, and then a real big hemdinger of a bash for these last 2 positions. We've got Dalby on 15, Gundawindi on 14, Gat and South on 12, Brothers on 10, and of course we've got Pittsworth, Oakey and Highfields bringing up the rear. Let's have a look at the reserve grade ladder, equally as impressive there, 21 points to Valleys, and Valleys play Wattles weekend after next, and then Gatton's on 20 points. They play Valleys in the last round, so anything could happen there.
What about the closeness of that competition?
Well, look at this, and then we've got 19 points for Gundawindi. All right, they played Dalby, who's still in a chance for.
Well, any of those top 4 can take out the minor premiership.
That's right, and keep in mind that Gundawindi play Wattles in a couple of weeks too, as well. And I'm just so confused. Do I go on, Reeds?
Warwick 17, Highfields 15.
Yeah, that's right. Dalby 14. You think the 5's going to come out of those? You can see the rest there. Let's have a look at the under 18 ladder, and this is just as impressive. South obviously all but have secured the minor premiership there. They're 5 points ahead of Dalby. Then you can see the next 6 or 7 teams: Gatton, Gundawindi on 18, Highfield 17, South Burnett on 16, Valleys on 15, and Pittsworth on 14. You think that Warwick are out of it?
Yeah, the Valleys lost on the weekend against Gundy. I know they were pretty disappointed losing that game in the 18, so that's put them a bit. It'll be a hard job for them now as well. And then the South Burnett side also just losing. It's put them touch and go as well. So there's still a long way to go, but anything could happen in these games.
Yeah, I like the 18s comp. It's tough. It's you see a lot of fellas that have backing up playing A grade. They come out and play 18s first, and then they back up and play A grade. Dalby, got up over South Burnett, who have been playing particularly well this year. They did win the President's Cup halfway through the year, and you see South's runaway leaders there at the moment, 5 points clear of Dolby, but just shows that Dolby have had a few of their 18s up playing A grade and not necessarily playing 18s first, so it's made it a little bit tougher for them, but on the weekend they would have had a full squadron there.
On the second division ladder there, you see those three teams at the top, Newtown, Gatton, Gundawin, you're getting away on the rest of the field there. So we'll see how that pans out for that second division competition. And as we go to the break, let's look at an interview of one of my favourite players, Pittsworth's Bruno Brosnan, after his side's win over Highfields on the weekend. After the break, we'll analyse the A-grade run into the finals again, with each of those teams in contention on who they play in coming weeks. This is the Hutchins Builders Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
I'm Nev Cherry for the Toowoomba Rugby League out here at Club Pittsworth, and I have one of the top dogs for the Danes in a game against the Highfields Eagles, Brad Brosnan. Brad, there's players within your competition, within teams, have all the finesse, have all the speed, but there's one thing you need in every rugby league side is a great front rower. And you've come back, and the games you've played this year for, and when you've been able to come back from Brisbane, you've won more than you've lost. What are your plans next year?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot down at Bulimba, down in another comp, because I was going to move to Brizzy, but I'm staying up here now. So next year we've been talking with a lot of the boys over the last few years to try and get a formidable side back on the park. So I'm definitely here next year. Moved back to Toowoomba with my partner. So
the one thing the Pittsworth Danes don't like is failure. Not that you're failing, but it's just not clicking for you this year. Your crowd demands success out here, don't they?
Yeah, mate. I think it's always hard. You sort of watch the history of the club. You might get a premiership, and then it might be 10 years before you find another one, and 5 of those 10 years can be hard. Like, it's only a small town compared to a lot of the other towns that we've come up against, and to get people to travel out when we're not sort of paying the money because it's more of a family club, it can be difficult. But then success breeds success too. So
it must have been great to get a win out here tonight in front of the home crowd before the Q Cup game.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I think it's a really good night for the club too. And hopefully the guys that come up to watch this Q Cup game, hopefully they enjoyed our game and sort of come back and get behind the team next year, because it's great for the club.
Mate, you come up across some really good forwards in the Highfields Eagles, that Morosky, Smith. What were they like coming up against? Because they crack you fairly hard there in the middle.
No, I reckon out of all the teams that we play, I think Highfields are some of the best fellas. So it's really enjoyable. They dominate the ruck, and even if you find your front, you got the hooker screaming at you to get up and play the ball, but it's hard with the angles, and they've always got that little bit of weight on you, and it's extremely hard to get a quick play the ball off when you're playing these boys.
So you've been here for a few years now, and as you see some of these younger guys coming through, like the Fraser Billettes and Mankdalos, that must make you feel good. You think the club's in good stead moving forward?
Yeah, mate, it's awesome. Over the last sort of 5 to 10 years, our juniors have been going better and better and getting good numbers. And when we did win a couple of years ago, it was all our local juniors coming through. And when you can get a couple of good age groups, competitive age groups, and they come together and they stay around, that's how we get success here.
How much football you got left in you, Brad?
Oh, mate, I'll play, 28? I reckon I'll keep doing it and then drift back through the grades, to be honest.
I reckon Quinny's already got your house out here for you to come back.
Nah, I think I like staying in Toowoomba, but I'm definitely going to come out here to play.
Mate, you played very well. Well done, Brad.
Up next, Obi and the panel will look at the lead-up to the finals. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM and Hutchins Builders, live from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia.
Crazy Kevin on the radio.
powerfmradio.com.au.
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 4642 1331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters Toowoomba West on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
Welcome back to the TRL Footy Show from the Toowoomba Sports Club. Let's get back to Obi and the panel.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show, and our game needs personalities like Brad Brosnan, don't they, Murph?
Definitely good personality. I've seen him out at Maringan a few times and he's definitely a personality.
Well, he was going to do a Fletch and Hindy type equivalent here, but he chickened out, Bruno. Come on. Get on board next year, okay? So let's have a look at what these teams are going ahead of them in the next 3 rounds. Only 3 rounds left. Valleys, well, really the first two, Valleys 23, they've got Oakey at home, Waddles and Gatton. They've got a maximum of 29 points. You think they'll get at least 2 of those, Reeds?
Yeah, you'd think they'll get up against Oakey. Waddles will be another tough match for them to come against. But I'll tell you what, Gatton will be a real hoodoo. The last round, if Gatton need to win that to get into the to the 5 themselves, you never know which way that'll go.
Yeah, that's right. And Waddles, as you can see, they've got Pittsworth, Valleys and Goondiwindi. Obviously, the big game is next week. Waddles and Valleys, we're looking forward to that one. Warwick, you'd think that whilst they've got the bye this weekend, they've got Gatton and Brothers, and they're both at home, so you think they've secured their top 3 there, Reeds.
Do you get 2 points for the bye?
No.
No, so they'll
So they're still 5 points ahead of
so they'll get a maximum of 24.
Yeah.
And with Gatton and Brothers, you'd think Warwick could be safe and in the top 3.
Yeah, well, Dalby, they've got it pretty tough because Manly boys are out this week and also Steve Franciscus, but there's a doubt and a cloud over Dave Armstrong, so it's a really important game. It's going to Windy one.
This week, and probably whoever wins this is guaranteed. The one who doesn't, they're going to be fighting for that last spot, aren't they?
Yeah, do or die.
And they play Highfields in round 17. Now, Highfields are funny because every time they come up against one of these top of 5, they're a threat, you see, all right? And but they haven't taken the biscuits, have they?
No, they haven't yet. But they are a threat. Like you said, they're a threat every week, and I'm sure they'd love a couple of scalps to finish the season on a bit of a high.
So you'd think that Dalby's going to win at least 1 out of the next 2, and they've got South at South. I think with South away, South's got to win this week to stay in the 5, so they'll come good. They've got some good talent out there, mate.
Yeah, South are really going well.
Dalby, I mean.
Dalby and South, they're both going well. Dalby got some talent. They've got a really good under-18s and reserve grade too. They've got some good players to come through there. I think they'll sneak into the 5.
Goondiwindi, they've got Dalby, which is, I reckon, their main game coming in because they play Brothers winnable games there, and of course they play Waddles in the last round, so they'll be up 20 points. Interesting with Gatton, they've got all away games. They can certainly mix it with South. It's a tough ask to win at Warwick, and Warwick have had the wood on Gatton these last couple of seasons, and of course Valley's Gatton's chicken and chips are always great games.
It depends again. If Dalby do beat Gundy, then Gatton beat South this weekend. They're even on points, so they've got a lot to play for, Gatton, and again on paper they've got a very good squad as well.
Exactly right. Well, Gatton and South are on 12 points. They play each other this weekend. You think the loser of that game, especially South, if they lose, because they've got to buy the next week, right, and they can only get a maximum of 16 points. I've got that wrong there, not 18. You see, so you think that 18 is the benchmark, or 20 to get into the 5.
Yeah, I think even Gatton on 18, they need a lot of other results above them to go against those sides for them to win. I think the bye's what's going to knock South out, because they'll even if they win their last 2, the bye's going to shorten them up 2 points. They're going to miss the 5.
But it's been good watching South compete this year as
and
well.
rebuild.
They've improved a long way, and they're even going to improve again next year on this as well.
So with Brothers, there's a calculation here which I worked out last night, is that if Gundawindi win and they go to 16 points, right, then they're half a chance there. But if Brothers lose, they're out because they can only get to 14 points, because Gundy are already at 14 there.
Yeah, so Brothers have to win all their games, and then it's up to other people. But still, it's Brothers again. They've improved this season, similar to South, and it's been good seeing their results and competitiveness this season as well.
Exactly right. Player of the Year, the Webke Prize Medal, is very, very important, especially this time of year. Mitch Ravel holding on to 2-point lead. They didn't play on the weekend. Ben Sullivan didn't get any points against South, even though he's one of their better players.
60 tackles.
60 tackles. If they get 1 point,
but then again, I always remember Nathan Friend going to Norse, and his father-in-law asked, he said, well, how come you don't give him he tackles 40 a game? He said, well, Cameron Smith, he tackles 50 a game, so he couldn't get a run. So that's probably what happened on the weekend with Ben Sullivan. So Jacob Whittaker didn't play. He might have got points there as well. Thomas Sullivan right in the mix there. He got the 3 points there as well, and you can see the rest there.
Jacob Whittaker not playing, that's a massive out for South, isn't it? Because it was a close game. So.
Yeah, that's right. But look, I tell you what, South, it was one of those games that it was there for the taking, and it was sorry that there was a loser in that game, Reeds.
Yeah, look, he's been really good for him too, Whittaker, and I think that 2 points is going to. South had got that not with the bye in there. They might have snuck into the 5, but I think they'll be happy with their season, better than previous years.
Exactly right. So that's the Player of the Year points, and that's coming into the.
It shows you how many good players we've got in Toowoomba looking at that list, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have seen this list. The thing. Who do you think's your favourite for the Player of the Year?
Mitch Ravel. He's been a standout for Brothers in every game, and he always seems to get points because he works so hard, and he hasn't got as many around him as some of the other clubs that detract points from him throughout the year.
Yeah, my favourite's Stevie Franciscus. I mean, we've seen him a couple of times. He's just got better all the time and always been in the points.
He doesn't look like he's aging, does he?
No, he doesn't. But who's your favourite for the Webke Prize Medal?
I'm going for Benny Sullivan from Warwick. I reckon every time Warwick wins, he's around there, and he's one of their best players, and I think he's going to get it this year.
Yeah, and he got a pile of points early in the season, so it's a lot more structured, and we know what's going on from there, so it's going to make a great presentation night, which is incidentally is on the 30th of August. To get your tickets, go to the Facebook site, Toowoomba Rugby League. As we go to the break, let's look at an interview with the debutant himself from Warwick Cowboys, Tyrell Ross. This is the Hutchins Builders Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
And TRL Media. And I tell you what, this young fella gets the ball to, Benny Sullivan, gives it to Mitchy Watson, and he goes up. And there's cool, calm, collective, big, there's no meat on you, Tyrell. You get the ball, you go down, back into Watson, mate. Right? That was fantastic stuff for your first game. Congratulations, Tyrell.
Yeah, no, it was good, Good to have a run with the older boys.
Yeah, and look, and let's not talk about that, but I think it was over that far side. You had a lot of work to do, and what are you, 6 foot? Are you 8 foot or something?
Yeah, going on 8, yeah.
Yeah, mate, but you had to stretch out for that game, mate, so you must be pretty proud of yourself.
Yeah, no, it was good. Good to get a try.
Were you nervous coming into this game in your debut?
Yeah, very.
Yeah. But it makes it a lot easier when you're playing outside blokes like Mitchy Watson.
Yeah, no, it was good to play outside him, mate. Give me a lot of tips.
Yeah, always a Warwick boy, have you been?
Yeah.
That's good. So you made your debut, and you can tell everyone you made go home and tell your family, mate, scored a double, so that was pretty cool, eh?
Thank you.
Yeah, well done, mate. You played very, very well, and let's hope it's one of many, many A-grade games for you.
Cheers, mate.
Coming up, Obi and the panel will preview round 16. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM and Hutchison Builders, live from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia.
Crazy Kevin on the radio.
Jamming as much variety into your day as possible.
PowerFMradio.com.au.
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 46421331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters Toowoomba West on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
Thanks so much for your company for the TRL Footy Show, live from the Toowoomba Sports Club. And now it's back to Obi and the panel.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show, sponsored by Hutch's Builders, and it's great to see those debutantes playing. He had a wonderful game, young Ross Murph.
Yeah, like we said earlier, it is always good and standing up, and I'm sure he would have been proud playing in front of his family or playing his first game for the club too. It's always a good occasion.
Well, so 3 A-grade games last week, and we got the full card this week. Let's have a look at the card here. We've got Valleys and Oakey. Murph?
Yeah, I can't see Valleys losing this one at Herb Steinhardt on Saturday night. Valleys still have a lot to play for to try and fine-tune some things, and they've got a big game coming up next week, so I think they'll have a good win in this game.
Same with you, Reeds?
Yeah, I'll go with Valleys. I can't see Oakey really finishing the season out as strong as they started. They're starting to drop off a little bit now, but Valleys hitting the straps at the right time.
I was happy the way the Oakey crowd and the team turned out against Warwick a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure they'll be a good showing, whilst they'll probably get defeated, but it's hopefully they can go out to Herb Steinhardt. Hope it's not too cold. Come on, Oakey, the supporters, get behind them, and new players come out of the woodwork just for this last couple of games from the Bears. On to Pittsworth and Wattles, 6:30 at Club Pittsworth. At Pittsworth, OB Cookie Call, the Toowoomba Sports Club match of the day. Power TV, delayed telecast game of the week right here on Power TV, 7 o'clock on Monday. Look, this will be, I suggest, a lot better score than the first round, Reeds.
Yeah, I think so too. Pittsworth will be buoyed from their win last week in front of a big crowd, back at home again. Wattles without Dale Perkins, so that's a big loss for Wattles, and hopefully the Danes might even sneak another win.
Well, I think Danes might have Brosnan out. They've probably got a few there as well, but it is Saturday night, and they always perform well on Saturday night.
Yeah, these two teams, I think Pittsworth always lift a bit for Wattles too. So.
And after last week with the Intrust Cup, you think
they're on a bit of a high after last week, so
that's
it's a good time for Pittsworth, but Wattles are a class team though.
That's right. And anyway, it's going to be a ripper. We go to air at 5:30 on Power FM. On to Sunday's game. We're going out to Gundawindi. This is a crucial game as far as the makeup of the top 5 is concerned. Dalby in 4th position, Gundawindi in 5th position. This is for outright 4th, this game. Obi Cookie Call, Hutchie's match of the round. How do you see this one?
Yeah, definitely.
We've got in doubt David Armstrong. The Manly boys aren't going to be there. Steve Franciscus is an expecting father, so he's expected not to be there.
Oh, if Steve's out, I think it might change the
dynamics.
Yeah, the dynamics definitely, and with the two Manlys out, Gundy have to win this as well, I think. But if Gundy win, they're nearly assured of the semis, so I think it's a big game. With those boys out, I reckon Gundy can get up at home there.
Yeah, well, Gundy's had some tough games, certainly playing against Valleys, and they played Valleys twice in the last 6 weeks, and I know that they're really getting a lot more match fit now, and they're not losing games by much. They're in the mix, Reed.
Yeah, it'll be a really good match. The fact that Gundy's at home and on a Sunday, I'd sort of going to lean towards Gundy with those players out for Dalby. But either way, it's going to be a very good match, and it could be a toss of the coin.
Yeah, I'm going for Gundy. I thought Dalby was just got a bit found out against Valleys the week before, especially with the Taylor boys. Mitchell's out for the season. Dylan's been limping around. He might play there as well. And with those 3 key players out, it's going to be a tough call for them. On to another important game. These two teams are on 12 points. South host Gatton. And if last week's form is any of the indication, it's going to be a ripper of a game this
week.
I
might see the two Lip boys clashing against each other too in this game, so that'll be good too. So
that's right. If South lose, I believe they are out of the competition, so this is going to be a ripper. I did really think about this game, and the best player out of both teams, right, are probably Billy Jackwitz and Hayden Lip. Whilst we've got great players such as Chute and those guys, but they're just another level, aren't they? And you saw Lippy and Jackwitz in the 47 Battalion, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. They are quality players, and they're really good players in our comp, and I still think they could go a long way in their own careers as well. So I think if they're playing well, Gatton are going to be hard to beat here on a good track. It's been good weather here. So.
Yeah, well, Gatton's been playing a lot more consistent, and I thought about this, and I thought, well, Dommy Hawk's back, and he's a good talker, so I think... I'm backing Gatton here because South had some tough games. They had Warwick and Wattles in the last 2 weeks. So, what's your thoughts, Reed?
Yeah, look, I think mathematically Gatton's the only one who can still make the 5 out of these. When South strike the bye in the following round, that's going to give them not enough points to get in. But they've got 2 games at home, which will be good for them. Gatton are away for the remainder of the season. I'm going to go with Gatton with the return of Dom Hawke. I said a few weeks ago on this show that Dom's the one that Gatton's been missing. He's back. With Lip and them there, I think Gatton's got more to play for.
Dommy's the soul of that side, isn't he? So
yeah, he's the soul of Gatton.
Yeah.
Yeah, he certainly is. And on to the last game, Highfields and Brothers. Now, what I've really noticed, especially over the cold weather, that the Saturday night games versus the actual daytime games, are just a bit different as well. They hang on to the ball more in the daytime, and this is going to be a ripper of a game.
Yeah, definitely.
Sunday.
If the weather's how it has been the last few days, it will be a ripper of a game, and it's good footy to watch, and it's a good time of the year to be playing when this good weather's around too. So,
Well, Brothers, if they lose, they're out of the finals attention. So actually, South and Brothers could lose, and then we're only down to a 6-team possibility of those people making the fight.
yeah, definitely some high stakes in the games this weekend, which is great to see this late in the season as well.
Are you back in here?
I'm going to go for Highfields. I think they might just get up.
Are all your mates at Highfields?
Well, I know.
You know them all.
I do have a close relationship with
do you,
Gus.
mate? Yeah. And your pub's not far from there?
Yeah, they'll probably go there after the game.
There you go. I had you know how you go on the website and you can do the predictions of the actual things as well? I did a prediction. We could have Brothers, South, Gundawindi and Gatton all on 16 points come top 5.
Oh, well, that'll be a very tight competition.
Are you saying that I don't use my time effectively, Reeds?
Yeah, I'd hate to be employing you, mate, if that's all you're coming up with.
So who do you like in this game?
Look, I was talking to them Highfields boys the other night. That was one that got away against Brothers, against Pittsworth. They were really disappointed. I think if they take that to the game, Highfields will get up just over Brothers.
Well, there we go. So as we go to the break, and we've got a huge surprise after the break. But as we go to the break, let's look at Sean's selections for this week. This is the Hutchinson Builders Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
G'day everybody, Sean Lees here from Hutchinson Builders for another week of Sean's selections. So this week I was going to introduce you to another one of the Hutchies regulars in Corey Weston, the biggest TRL fan in Toowoomba, they reckon. Corey, so tell us what you like about the TRL.
Oh mate, pretty big Models Warriors fan, so yeah, looking forward to them winning it this year, so fingers crossed.
So that's your tip for the finals,
That's
you reckon,
the finals.
So why are they going to win?
Oh, probably Magic Matt Duggan.
Magic Matt Duggan? What did you give you to say that?
Nothing.
And who are they going to meet in the finals?
Probably Valleys, I reckon.
Yeah, right, so repeat of what the last couple of years.
Valleys, you got Ryan Stevens back, so I reckon they're going to be the class team to beat.
Gotcha. And so how long have you been at Hutchies for?
Well, about 5 years.
What do you like about Hutchies?
Oh, everything. Great place to work, good mates, everything like that.
Fair dinkum. He's giving everyone a rap today. Righto, so we'll get to the footy. So we got Gundy versus Dolby at Gundy. So Westo, what's your tip for this week's round?
I'll go Gundy to get to the outright 4th position.
Yep. I'm going to go the same. I'll get Gundy at home. It's never much fun for a Toowoomba team or a Dolby team for that matter to travel to Gundy. They always get good local support and they've got some exciting stuff happening down there, so I'm going to go for Gundy as well. Righto guys, have a great week. Good luck with the footy on the weekend. We'll see you next week, eh? Bye.
There's more of the TRL Footy Show brought to you by Power FM and Hutchies Builders, live from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia. Coming up next.
Hutchies lives here. We're locals, just like you. To us, construction is really about people, not just bricks and concrete. It's people who bring our structures to life and build communities. We stick by the people who make communities. From Toowoomba Rugby League to RACQ Lifelight Rescue Service, Milne Bay Military Challenge, and the Toowoomba Tennis International, Hutchies is proud to back the people who support the region.
Oz Hosting is proud to support Switched On IT in bringing practical help to Australian businesses. We're talking to literally hundreds of businesses every day about their IT services, how to make them more efficient, how to make their businesses more efficient, and how to protect their valuable data. If you'd like your IT services securely hosted right here in Australia and expertly managed, talk to Oz Hosting.
Looking for exposure for your business or event? Take your business, community event, training seminar, sports fixture, function, concert or exhibition to the world with Power TV Australia and Power FM's unique live outside simulcasts. We can turn your next local event into a worldwide sensation with stunning live pictures, interviews, graphics and live action replays for a fraction of the usual cost. From a festival or sports fixtures to a corporate or charity event, Power TV Australia and Power FM can take your message live to our local and national viewers and listeners. Invite the world to your party by contacting Barry today on 0431 390 920 or email programming@powertvaustralia.com for a quote.
Thanks for joining us for the TRL Footy Show live from the Toowoomba Sports Club. Now it's back to Obi.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the Hutchinson Builders Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show. And I said we had a surprise. We got Sean Selections himself, Sean Lees from Hutchison Builders. How are you, Shawnee?
Good, Opie. How are you?
That's good. Welcome to the Footy Show, mate. I thought we'd get you on, mate, because you're becoming a legend in your own lifetime, mate, with your little selections, mate, and what you'd show us about Hutchison Builders and also down the beach with the family and everything.
Yeah, mate. Yep.
And you've got Burnoff Centre, and what other jobs you got on at the moment?
Yeah, so Burnos is probably the premier job at the moment. People might be familiar with that on Ruthven Street. It's one that we're tremendously proud of and something we're really enjoying being involved in. And the other one's RSPCA out at Wellcamp Airport. So we've got a number of jobs on, but those two in particular, RSPCA, such a good cause, and just love the work that those guys do. So something that's really easy to get behind and a pretty interesting build for us as well.
I've found, Reeds, that it's nice to see that our sponsors like Hutchies, we can see actually what they do.
Yeah, well, you see their signs up around everywhere on building sites, not just in Toowoomba, but, you know, all over Queensland. And I think he's been going for about 106 years now, Sean, and great contributors to the community. And you give a lot back to the community, but particularly to Rugby League. You've been a major sponsor of the Toowoomba Rugby League. It's been the Hutchies Cup for about 4 or 5 years now, and I think we've still got another 3 or 4 years at least to run on the current agreement. So. Yeah. Do you find the return really good as well for Hutchies themselves?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's like a lot of the things we do.
It's hard to measure, isn't it?
It is. It's intangible. It's difficult to measure. We don't get involved in something like that with a view that next week someone that was at the footy on Sunday is going to come and build a building with us. But we just like being a part of the community, and we think it's the right thing to do for large organisations that have got the capacity to support the community. To talk to Hutchies and Rugby League and the connection there. Greg Quinn, our managing director, played professional rugby league, played for Queensland, and I think whether that's the only reason, but certainly at every level of the business, there's a connection with Hutchies and Rugby League, and certainly that's true of Toowoomba.
There's a lot of people that represent your company to work with you for a number of years, like Barry Davidson and Jeff Camp and all them, who are synonymous with Toowoomba Rugby League. Dave and myself played Queensland representative football, Newtown boy here. So a lot of your employees have a great connection back with Rugby League, and I think when I see them at the footy, they love being there as a Hutchies representative. They're so proud of the company they work for, but to be back involved in the sport, it's a sort of a win-win for both of them.
Absolutely. I feel that myself, Reddy. Like to be involved in a business that sort of celebrates something that you personally are passionate about as a local person, but also something that you yourself enjoy, mate, it's fantastic. And I imagine for the guys to go to the game on a Sunday and have a Hutchies banner up on the fence, it's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, I think the connection there, and we're the number one sport in the town, and I think it's great to get that vibes from your employees as such, and even the people that you work for, right, that they put a smile on their face because you are involved with Rugby League.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win for us. We love doing it, and we'll continue to do so as long as we've got the capacity to. Proud to be involved, love it, the employees love it. Mate, it's just a good thing all round.
And talking about employees, mate, the bloke you interviewed or you had on Sean Selections there, bit of a man crush on Matty Duggan, is that right?
Yes, mate. It come out loud and clear, didn't it? So he was tipping Waddles to win, and he reckons Magic Matty's going to do it for him.
What's his name?
So Corey Weston, mate, who played for South. And played with a lot of those guys, including Matty Duggan.
And should have played for Queensland and Australia?
Yeah, if you ask Corey, that's what he'd say.
I thought he did.
Yeah, well, it depends how many beers he's had when you ask him. But no, look, he's a good example of a guy who's a fantastic Hutchies employee.
What's his role?
So he's a project manager.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's looking after a pretty large project, a hospital at the moment for us. And he's a great example of what Reedy's talking about, where you've got a local fella who's played local footy here, who loves going to the footy on a Sunday, and to see the Hutchies banner and it being, the Hutchies Cup, mate, it's fantastic, So he's another one of those examples, like the Camfies and the Davos that you spoke about.
Yeah, and what about your head office, say, in Brisbane and those type of stuff? They're fully aware of the partnership out here?
Absolutely, yeah. I get a ribbon every now and again for the Sean Selections thing when they see it, but mate, they just love the footy and they love seeing Hutchies engage with the local community, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, like little snippets like Sean Selections. Funny, social media is attention span of what, 30 seconds?
Hey mate, did you say something?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and I think it really fits the boot because they just like a little snippets of information, and they go on to Sean and say, oh, well, what's he going to talk about this week and everything? So it's going pretty well.
Sean himself doesn't know what he's going to talk about this week most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so
You
Westy,
tipped him better than Ovie, Sean, so that's okay.
Yeah, mate, did young Westy, did he say who he tipped between Gundawindi and Dalby?
He did. He's going for Gundy at home. Yeah.
Because you missed it the previous week, I pointed out to you.
I did. I got some constructive feedback on Sean's selections last week that I spoke to a number of people and didn't even ask them for their tips, so I've rectified that this week for you.
There you go. Well, look, we love the partnership. We love it as much as you do, Sean. It's quite unique, really, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's not something that I would have thought of. It's unique. I've really enjoyed doing it. And I just love talking about Hutchies and anything that I can anything I can use to spread the word of what we do, mate, is what we'll do.
Well, we're looking to a magic final series, which I know you'll be around, and also Sean's selections on what's he going to bring up next week, you see, so it'll be great. Thanks very much for being involved. So we'll wrap up the show. Look, I'd like to say thanks very much to South and particularly Pittsworth for the wonderful hospitality on the weekend. We're looking forward to the weekend as we get drawn to the finals, Reeds, aren't we?
Yeah, footy's only going to hot up, and it'll be great to see who's going to be there at the last game of the Hutchies Cup.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, Sean, we asked the panel guys, Murph and Reeds, who do you like as far as this stage of the season? Do you think we're going to have a repeat of last year's grand final? I think that's the tip, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, it's probably hard to go past that. I still think they're the two sides to beat.
Do you have a sentimental favourite in the other pack?
Oh, look, I'd probably like to see Waddles win, to be honest. They make such a good game out of it that it doesn't much matter, you know. Like, you think of the last few times they've met, it's been such an interesting clash. It's a toss of a coin. I'd like to see Waddles get home with it at a sentimental level. But it's hard to go past Valleys, mate, with what they've been able to do, and they seem to be able to get it done when it really counts. So I reckon Waddles, but at 50-50.
Yeah. Me, Reeds, I think there's a fairy tale this year somewhere, albeit all roads lead to a Waddles Valleys grand final.
Yeah, I'm hoping Warwick might sneak in there as well. I'd love to see the Warwick boys get up. But I think injuries will play an important part if they can stay injury-free. If anyone gets any significant injuries on some of their main players, I think that could be the difference.
But you never know. A big round of Toowoomba Rugby League footy sponsored by Hutch's Builders, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Just a reminder that on Saturday night we're at Pittsworth on the Power TV delayed telecast right here on powertvaustralia.com. At 7 o'clock, delayed telecast on Monday. And of course, we go to air at Power FM special events at 5:30 before the 6:30 kickoff between Pittsworth and Waddles. On Sunday, we are out at Gundawindi. That's going to be a ripper of a game out there against Dalby, where you'll see Power FM will be on air from 1:30. So thanks for coming, Sean.
Thanks for having me, Ovie.
Yeah, good. We'll look forward to your song. Thanks for coming, Reeds.
No worries, Obes. Love doing it.
Are you going overseas again?
No, not for the remainder of this year, I don't think.
That's surprising, Reeds. You're one place one day the next, but you love coming to the footy show, and we love having you on the footy show. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League footy show. We'll see you next week here at the Toowoomba Sports Club.
This has been another edition of the TRL Footy Show. Thanks to Power FM, Hutchison Builders and Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West. Now, if you'd like to advertise on Power TV or Power FM, you can contact us by phone or email. The details are right here on the screen. This has been a Power TV Australia production in conjunction with Power FM. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Also, remember to download the Power TV Australia app from the Apple and Google Play stores. I'm Robbo. Thanks so much for your company. We'll catch you again next week.
Hutchies lives here. We're locals, just like you. To us, construction is really about people, not just bricks and concrete. It's people who bring our structures to life and build communities. We stick by the people who make communities. From Toowoomba Rugby League to RACQ Lifelight Rescue Service, Milne Bay Military Challenge, and the Toowoomba Tennis International, Hutchies is proud to back the people who support the region.
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 4642 1331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters Toowoomba West on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
Crazy Kevin on the radio.
powerfmradio.com.au.
Celebrate 100 years of rugby league in Toowoomba with the TRL's exclusive radio and TV call team. Join Obi, Cookie, Nev, George and Kelvin every Saturday from 5:30pm for the Toowoomba Sports Club Match of the Day, live on powerfmradio.com.au/special events. On Sunday, the team's back with the Power FM Hutchies Match of the Round from 1:30pm on Power FM 88 Toowoomba and online at powerfmradio.com.au/special events. You can now watch the game of the week with all the action, including instant replays of every try at 8 o'clock Sunday night on Power TV Australia. Take the footy with you wherever you go by downloading the Power TV Australia app for both Power FM and Power TV Australia.